Father, my story.
I'm Daniel Aidoo, Project Manager for Cities and Habitats. My late biological father, he is the late Nana Aidoo Achampu. He was also known as Daniel Joseph Aidoo. You know, he made quite a big and a huge impact. Not very so much like the usual, father, son, but in various ways, in diverse ways, he impacted my life. I would say that my relationship with him was very checky. Not so much as you say a good one, but that shaped me. Why am I saying that? My father was polygamous. Fortunately or unfortunately, he had several wives. I happened to be the eighth of his 16 children, and I mean all through wasn't very smooth. Honestly, at some point in time, he thought that, in fact, he told me, I should go and look for my mother. He had issues with all his wives. My mom wasn't an exception. So at some point in time, he stopped. As early as class 2. At Datus Preparatory School. He stopped paying my fees. He said he won't take care of me again. So I was there in the house, I ate and all of that. I was under his discipline and custody. But he would do anything, that would really improve me. Which was unfortunate, but he did for my other siblings. And at some point in time, that is after common entrance, secondary school, O-level, A-level, by the grace of God, and fortunately, my education was also not truncated because then my mom stepped in. So after A-level, my dad invited an uncle. One weekend, I don't really know whether it was because of me, but the uncle came down, he called me, Kobina, why I said, and we usually say, Nana, that's how we responded because, he used to be a chief. Then he asked the uncle this is what he said. He said that they should beg me for him. And I said, wow. Then he said, if there's anybody amongst the children, what I'm saying now, I'm sure my siblings don't even know. He said, if there's anyone amongst the children that he has really offended or not done good to, it's me. I was very emotional, so then he said that, but I should not, harbor it. So I went to the room and I saw it. My pillows were wet. So I started bringing memories, a lot of memories. But he told me that he knew what he was doing. It was a deliberate thing. He knew what he was doing, but all through that, destiny, God was on my side, and destiny too was on my side. Because by the grace of God, I passed very well O-level, and I passed very well the A-level. In fact, I was one of the top in my school at the time because that year they cancelled virtually the whole business class. Those who did accounting, they cancelled their papers. So but I did business management. Could not make sense. So I went through. And so he realized that whatever it was, I was going to go ahead. But what he told me, or that he called me, my father would call you to beg. No. He was, a very serious person. That he called me to beg, and that he advised me not to take it to heart, really impacted me. So fast forward, I went for my national service at Anochi. You have Ekwe, Anochi, and then Aduamo, where the current gas company, is in the western region, the Izima area. And at that time, unfortunately, he was broke. He became broke. My little, allowance and monies I got, I would buy, the other siblings were there, everybody contributed anyway, so I buy this coconut oil, then I'll buy fish, plenty, and then bring. Unfortunately, one of my siblings went to choke me, quote unquote, went to report me to my mother. Hey, have you heard? Now, Kwabna is the one taking care of the house. So. If you were the mother, you can imagine what, how you feel. So me, I was there one day, I decided to pay a visit. At the time, my mom wasn't with us in the house. She had also left. And I went to visit my mom. I asked, how are you? Quiet. But then, no response. Then she started. It was a very serious one, I can't say. Said all kinds of things. Yes, I know you are a man. When you grow, I said it. All that your father has done to you and blah, 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 and blah, blah. When you grow, you forget me. I was very sad. So I waited. When you finished, I said, no, Mom, it's not so. But I should tell you the truth. There's one thing I believe, just as he's also a Presbyterian. I believe one thing, that I cannot see my father's nakedness and not cover it. I will not do it. If I do that, it won't help me, it won't help herself. I'm going to be like Noah's children, who saw their father's nakedness and, they went into trouble. The man cursed them. I don't know, if my father is hungry, no matter what he has done to me, I should feed him. If my father is cold, I should feed him. If I see my father sick and I am there and I can, I should be able to, support or help. But of course, he will not get the glory and the attention and all the support that she as a mother has done, because she has done all the investments. Then I tried to calm her down. I assured her everything was okay. 2 days, no, I think it was a night or the day before my marriage, my father fell sick. My father had a stroke. So he couldn't take me couldn't give my hand in marriage. Somebody else did, an uncle did. And then all through the period that my dad was unwell, whenever I got close, he couldn't speak because he had stroke. There will be tears all over him. He wishes that he would say something. I can see that he wants to say something to me, but he's not able to say so. I really appreciate my dad, because whilst I was in the house, he's a disciplinarian. He will beat you. He will make sure you do the right thing. At the end of the day, he's a father. So whatever he will do, I have to do. I appreciate him because, one, he kept me in the house. Even though he was no longer with my mom, he didn't say, find a way. I was there, we're together. I appreciate my dad because he didn't ask my mom to abort me. Because others do. Some will give birth and dump them on the, dump sites. I've seen one before. I appreciate my dad because he is a father. He gave us ideas. He taught us how to do a lot of things for ourselves. A lot of things he taught us to do ourselves. Farming, we were farming from school. When you come back, you go and cut grass for the sheep and the goats that we reared, at home. And I realized that all those things that are happening to me now, positively, I picked. Like having investments, insights, I want to invest. I want to do things for myself. It's not everything that is money. So he really impacted in my life. And this is what I really want to say. Let me finally say that, the Bible says that Proverbs 20:20 says that the man or the person who curseth the father, his lamp shall go dim into obscurity. So no matter what my dad did to me, or no matter what your dad does to you, whether he took care of you, if you take offense, it's a problem. Because the blessing of the father, for most part, it's even better and bigger than the blessing of your pastor. Because he is your direct biological father and he impacts you so much. So if you curse your dad, if you dishonor your dad, your lamp will go dim. It will not go well with you. Even as it says that honor your father and mother, so that it may be well with you. I want my children to remember me for, first of all, the spiritual impact that I make in their lives, the education that I invest in their lives. And of course, the Bible also says that the good father leaves inheritance for his children's children. I would want to leave that inheritance, not just houses or properties. As I said, from the spiritual to the education and then to physical properties. Make investments for them that when they come, they will not come and suffer like the way I did.
My Father, My Story, celebrating fatherhood